Right, Nikon D40x SD card door replacement. So I got this replacement door. Came just like this, and I bought this camera at the estate sale. The only problem was that it was had this door latch broken. So that's the replacement for it. Let's put that to the side. Now the problem with some guides I saw on the internet and could not find enough information, so I decided to post it. Basically, here's the housing where the door sits. This pin goes right through there this way, and these little holes you line them up in here, and you push the pin through. That's what holds the door. However, these little lips that you can see right there on the very edge, they sit right underneath the body of the front part of the camera. So even though you have these two holes right here, this and this, like some guides say, you just remove these and pull up. No, these little side ears on both sides, they sit underneath the body. So you have to take the whole back panel off, starting by first removing the bottom. Then there's two screws on this side, two screws on that side. There's two screws on the other side at the bottom where the lens housing is. There's a couple screws on this side. No big deal, but you do have to remove the whole thing. Anyways, I'm gonna pause the video and I'm going to assemble part of the camera. The easiest way to do this is first install the little spring. There's a couple holes at the bottom, so you line them up and make sure that the V that it forms is kind of in the same shape as the door is open. See, it's like this V right here. You want that shape right here. And then you slide the card in. And next we're going to try to align the pin through all these holes. Alright, so I got the card assembly all put together. See the pin right through it. Now the reason you wanted that V in this direction here, like that, is so you can close it, and it puts just enough tension for the card door to come open and stay open. Just like that. See, I'm just pressing it and it's coming back. So, all right, next is installing it back in the camera and putting all this covers back on. All right, so what I did here is I put the cover back on, and when I was mounting this side, I took the assembly and attached it to the back part that was hanging loose. And then I took the whole thing and pressed it against it. Those little ears I mentioned earlier, they slide right underneath this front part. All right, and then the screws basically just push down the whole assembly, so the camera sits, the door sits very nice and tight in there. So I don't have any screws yet, but basically that's what it is. Camera. Now one quick tip on this: when you put these screws back on, what I do is I put the screw on the screwdriver, and then I mount them upside down. Sometimes it's very difficult to get your fingers in the tight little spaces, so it's much easier because the screw is going to stay in the screwdriver, and you just can kind of look to see where the hole is. And it's much nicer to lose a screw outside of a camera than having it fall inside an SD card and flop around and you got to take the whole thing apart. It's just my recommendation. Alright, so we got the door installed. Now, only thing that I did not have, because it was broken and I could not find the part to buy it, there's a little metal pin here. What it does is creates a little bit of pressure between the door and this little latch here, so when you close it, it applies pressure this way out, and then it makes it a little bit harder to open. So mine is not very difficult. I'm going to have to figure out something homemade, maybe with a little bit of piece of wire or metal to keep it on there. But it'll work. And I'm going to put the rest of the camera together now, and I'll show you what it all looks like afterwards. So I put this back cover on. Notice right where the battery door is, there's like a little piece right here. Looks like a little part. It's actually attached, and you can slide it back. And there's a screw. It might be difficult to see, but right in that little hole right there, there's a screw. As you're taking it apart, you know, don't try to rip it apart. It's supposed to come off fairly easy. And when you put it back together, just push it out and kind of let it all fall into place. Don't use an excessive force. All right, it is all together now. And just a real quick, in case you are having a hard time to put them back together where the long screws and the short screws went. Not all these screws are the same length, and some of them screw into plastic seats, and some go into a metal part of the camera. You can see them by the thread, but anyways. So looking at the back cover, it was a short screw, short screw, short screw, a short screw. Then you had this screw right here in the middle. That is a long screw. That is a long screw. And underneath that cover, the little flip out, it's also a long screw. Underneath, to the bottom where the lens housing is, you have a long screw and a long screw. On the side, you have a long screw, another long screw. On the other side, you also have a long screw and another long screw here. At the very top of the camera, we had a screw here, which was very long, and this one was also long. The last two screws, which were short screws, were the actual SD card and the door housing part. These were two short screws. So, oops. As you can see, it's all now working. It's nice and covered. In case there's a light rain weather, or you just hit it with a hand and they keep popping the card out, you'll stop from doing that. All right, let's turn it on and see that everything still works. All right, the card is picked up. Looks like I've assembled everything correctly. There's no warnings. And there you have it.